Hi everyone, welcome to this week's My Money Method free newsletter. It's the 10th of February, and I thought I'd let a few weeks go by just to see what the markets are doing and then come back and have a chat with everyone. So, wow. 2 weeks have gone by and a lot happens in 2 weeks, doesn't it? And this is once again why I like to do this, is just to prove the fact that the markets are never the same. There's never a day or a moment where the markets are going to be the same. I know people will always tell you about patterns predicting themselves, and patterns will do the same thing. And yes, there are times where patterns will look very similar and they will do similar and very similar, but it will never ever be the same because the market is forever moving and there are always differences and changes within the market, and that's what makes it so exciting to be a technical trader. Now, we do know what's been going on. Well, those that don't know what's been going on, there's been a massive sell-off on all the equities across the board. I mean, if we even look at some of the, some stocks that's been falling, I think there were there were about 600 stocks on Monday that was analyzed, and out of the 600 stocks, 594 fell by about 3 or 4%, with only about 4 or 5 or 6 doing quite well. And one of them, the best one, was actually a stock called Randgold, and we'll actually go and have a look at that and the secrets in the name of why it did well. So in any case, we'll look at as we do at the US dollar index, and we can see we were for a number of weeks and days that we were, uptrending. It was a technical uptrend, and if we looked at even the weekly, it was technically uptrending. But we've had recently a massive sell-off, and this is just what's going on in the markets. There's a lot of what people say fundamental analysis going on, and all the people are looking at all the analysis that's going on with all the debt in the Western world and a lot of non-debt obviously in China and countries like that, where in the Western world there seems to be a lot of debt. China holding a lot of cash at this point in time, and there's sell-offs going on with what's going on in this world, and it's all related. But we look at the technical indicators, and we can see the dollar index. The dollar has been losing a lot of strength over the last. She had a massive sell-off about 6 days ago, and we are continuing a little slight pullback today, but it looks still like we're continuing to fall on the dollar index. So if I were going to be trading this chart, I wouldn't. It's just technically the candles are too far away from the moving averages. Not interested. However, it does tell me that the dollar index is definitely losing strength. But let's go look at seeing what's happening, which we don't normally do. I've got a share over here. It's a stock, should I say, Randgold. I mean, look what happened here on Monday. There was about 5%, if you want to equate it in percentage, of where we were. But overall, look at the stock. This is actually a company within South Africa, Randgold, and it's linked to gold resources, as in commodities. And if we had to then go, if we look at this chart, we can see that basically, we've had a bit of a sell-up. Now we're coming down. Potentially, price is going to come back down to this area over here, and then we may push on backwards. So this is what I'll be looking at this chart if I was looking at the stock, which I've obviously am, because I've got it on my trading screens. We've had a massive the bulls have been in charge on this one, while a lot of the equities have been selling off, commodities have been strengthening. And if we actually go and look at spot gold, you can see I've got a lot of numbers worked in on my charts over here. But once again, I mean, look at gold. I mean, gold has been cruising upwards. We've come all the way up here. But potentially what we want to do is see, potentially, is gold going to continue on its upward trend? Well, I like to do is I like to at least come to this monthly and see what's going here. Well, gold was in a downtrend, okay? And now we started to push back, and we've pushed back to this level over here. So it's forming a level of potential resistance from previous parts. So it will be interesting to see around this 1.2 mark over here is, are we going to break the 1.2 mark? Because if we do, we can continue growing up, potentially even up to about the 1.3. So there's good money to be made with that. So I would be looking at it as an entry off the daily, and potentially even the 4 hour. That what's going to happen here with the price of gold. I mean, there's a big gap here between the moving averages. Are we going to have a pullback and then push on through? So for those of you, obviously there's some technical terms being thrown around. If you don't know what I mean and what I'm saying, obviously, we are here as a supportive group, as a trading group, and to try and work together with a lot of my clients that do choose to work with me, where we support you and we trade together, which is fantastic. So, if you're interested, have a look at our website. There are courses you would need to do. Not a lot of money, I can assure you, but do those courses, and then we can start forming alliances and training groups where we can then talk the same language and make money together, because there's been big money made this year. I mean, the last 4, 5, 6 weeks of 2016 has been fantastic. I mean, for any trader out there who hasn't made money, please come see me, because you're not doing something right, that's for sure. There's big money out there at this point in time. So with silver, same thing over here, folks. Look at this. I mean, we've had let's just go and open this chart and just analyze it a little bit better. I mean, we had a strong sell-off. There was nothing happening for a large period of time here, for about December, well, since November really, to about just beginning of end of January, and now we've really sold off. Should I say we've the bulls have been in charge, and we've been trending up in the market, and we're now coming back. I'm saying that what I am looking for is price to come back to around this level over here, and then to potentially carry on going up. But right now, that's where I'll be looking for it to do, is come back down to about the 1.5 mark, and then from there we're going to push back on up, potentially going up to about the 1.6. So that's what I'm looking at for a trade. I'm looking a lot at the commodities, as you've seen. I mean, right now there's not, there are things going on the forex. Let's go and actually take a look at what should we look at. Let's go look at British pound to the euro. Okay, British pound to the euro. What's happening here? Let's go take a look at this actually at the monthly. What we got going over here is price has reached a level where I would say it's now a level of support, and previous resistance, now a level of support. But will it break this level of support, come back down? Because if it breaks this level of support where it is now, it's in quite a critical area. Potentially the British pound to the euro could fall more, potentially. So it's a key level I'm looking at with the British pound to the euro. I'm looking to see what's going to happen with this currency pair. It's definitely at a level where something can go. If it breaks that support level, potentially we could keep on falling, and the bears will be in charge over that currency pair. If we go and look at the same over here, it's British to the Japanese yen, same thing, similar chart. Oopsie, similar chart to that. And the same thing, you can see, look at this level all the way through over here. It's a key level we're at right now, and it's really to see how we're going to play this level, because we can either come back off and bounce off that, or if we break through this level, potentially we could carry on falling and losing to the Japanese yen. So once again, it's at a key level that I'll be looking, but these currencies are very similar, isn't it? So would we take out our full 1% and 1% on both trade in terms of risking it if we were going to go? Potentially I'll go 0.5% on each, as in terms of what I would risk as part of my trading plan, if I would decided to trade both of those charts. Not saying that I am, but I'm definitely stalking those markets. So from a last one, let's go look at the last one. British pound cable. Right now over here, I'd say that we started going uptrending. Potentially now we're actually starting to form a level once again. Let's just go look at this over here on the monthly. We've actually broken that level, but now we're pushing on up. So we may push up back to this level of about 1.5, and potentially we may fall back down. So it is also happening at key levels through a lot of the currency pairs, and it's related to what the pound is doing. So once again, again, you need to be, I wouldn't be trading all the pound pairs, because that may be a big risk, especially if you're going to go short and everything goes long. You need to have your risk management plan in place. So folks, but there is a lot going on. I myself, for the weeks ahead, is certainly looking at the commodities right now, being mainly silver and gold for an upwards in an upward momentum. I'm looking at it. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm looking for pullbacks into specific areas, and then I'm looking for, once we've pulled back into these specific areas, where price is going to go. As long as it all ties up, and I have what all my strategies I have, which we teach at My Money Method, are in play, I certainly will be taking a few trades. So there's a lot going on in the markets this week, folks. Go and have a look at My Money Method's website, where we've got some fantastic courses. One, the level 2 course is busy being redone, remodeled. So some fantastic stuff coming out with that very soon, hopefully within the next few weeks. And get in touch with us, folks, because there's lots going on and you are missing out. You know, you don't have to leave your job. You don't have to leave anything, and you can place day trades where you go before work, come back home and see what's happened. You know, you can spend 2 hours in front of the screens. You don't have to spend the whole day. That's why we don't look at 15-minute or 5-minute tickets, because then that's like being in a job. So there are people who do like that, but we don't specifically teach it because it's like being in a job. We want to have not all day in front of the screens, and we want to still make money. So everyone, that's it from me. Definitely some exciting stuff coming on. Obviously, those who are trading equities around the stock markets, you know, there's lots going on in those stock markets as well. But be careful of falling stock markets, especially if you just try and get in at the market price. You may be caught out. So you need to know what you're doing, and in order to know what you're doing, come get trained with us at Mind Money Method. Have a good week, everyone. See you later.